Hi everyone. Uh, I'm back. Hopefully I'll film more videos. Um, Here in the future I have plans on videos, so yay. Today I'm going to talk about on what I did on Samhain or Halloween, and also talk about the books that I finished, uh, still reading, and books that I want to read after I finish at least one of these books. I got this idea from Taya Kennedy. She just recently did a video on, I believe, she was showing the books that she either what is reading at the moment or she just finished or something. So it's a book video, and I'm like, I have some books to share, I guess. So let's get started. So, um, Samhain, Halloween, the 31st, I decided, well, okay, let's start over by, um, so I watched Arth Herger's video, one of his newest videos, like 3 days before Halloween. It was, I forget the exact title, but it was like how to gain magical abilities from like folklore and history and stuff like that. And he mentioned, I'm this is like the first time I'm going to say it out loud, circumambulation or something like that. Circumambulation, yeah. Um, he mentioned it, and I thought it was really cool. Um, it's where you walk around something like sacred to you or something, or like your house, on like specific like days or holidays. This is different to every different culture that performs circumambulation. Um, and before that, I watched Taya's video on witchcraft initiation. Um, yeah, initiation. I thought it was dedication, but it's initiation into witchcraft. So I never initiated myself because you don't really need to. Um, and I thought, well, one of the things that she mentioned sounded really cool, where you would put one hand on your head and one on the bottom of your foot, and say something like, um, between what's between these hands is dedicated to witchcraft or something like that. If I remember correctly, this is one of the forms in traditional witchcraft. So I thought that was really cool. You should check out both of their videos. It'll definitely give you more information than that. So, and I decided to actually do it my own way. So let's see if I remember, I gathered my lighter, a red birthday candle, a pine incense that I have, and I think that was it. And I went outside, and I was gonna start over here, but I decided to go to the east side where our driveway is. And I thought it'd be interesting to do that because for me, I believe in the traditional witchcraft elemental directions, which is north is air, south is earth, um, east is fire, and the west is water. So I went to the east because that's where the sun is and that's where fire is, and so that's where like illumination um, is associated with is fire. And I thought it would be cool because I also thought of the stang. I don't have a stang yet. I would like to. But another thing that I learned from Taya Kennedy. It's a traditional witchcraft tool. I learned this word from Taya anyways. So it's a bifurcated stick. So it's kind of like a trident, but just two-pronged. So it's basically a bident. And usually there's a candle in between the two prongs to symbolize illumination, becoming more aware and stuff like that. That's what also that also is you see a lot of Baphomet statues imagery with him with a candle on top of his head. It means the same thing. So I thought doing east, which is fire, and I want to bring that into the next year. Like, I don't really believe in Samhain being the new year, but I just thought it would be nice for it to be like a new year for like rededicating myself to the craft and practicing more witchcraft. So I lit the incense and I asked for cleansing and protection. Because, like, you want to be nice and cleansed. And then I asked protection, sorry. Because, the veil is thin, spirits are more active and stuff, so I wanted to be protected from that ever happening on that night, especially. And I lit the candle with an intention, and of course I had my hand cupped because, there's a little slight breeze. So I walked around my house 3 times, because, 3 is like sacred number and stuff. And I tried to keep my mind focused on the intention and stuff, and without having the candle blown out. Actually, let me get... So, this is the lighter, and this is the actual candle I used. That's what's all is left. And this is the exact incense that I used. So I carried around this like this. And it was hard because it was not a full moon. So I had to use the candlelight to walk around my house. And our house is kind of big. It's about 30 by 70 feet, roughly. And of course, different pathways and stuff to take and whatnot around our house. And by the time I finished the first round, I walked like 15 feet and the candle blew up for the first time. And I'm like, oh geez. So I lit it again, and from there on, it almost died down multiple times. But it was, I think, the third time around in our front yard, which is north-ish. It was having a hard time staying lit. It went out like 2 or 3 times. So I kind of walked a little bit faster. Let's see. Well, sorry. Before that, I used our car to balance myself, and I forget which hand I did. And I said, this is what's in between these hands is initiated and dedicated to witchcraft for the next year. Because, like I said, I want to get into practicing more witchcraft than I do now. And then I did the circumambulation part. So, and I came in, and it felt good. Nothing else really happened, I think. It was really hard, to walk because we have gravel and little mounds of dirt and stuff everywhere, and especially on the west side. So it's a little hard to traverse. Um, but I liked it. Um, so that's what I did on Samhain. Now to get to the books. 10 minutes and 25 seconds into the video. Okay, so these are the books that I finished, and I just finished this book about 2 weeks ago. Changeling, A Book of Qualities by Aidan Wachter. And of course, there's going to be a video review for each of these books. This is one of his thicker books, his third book. His first book, which I actually have right here, is like roughly half the size of this one. So yeah. So I'm gonna do a book review. This is one of his, like, this one is amazing. This one's also amazing. I haven't read his second one, because I just felt like I just needed to read this one first. And this is my first time ever annotating with page flags. I don't know what these are for in here. Oh. Arrows. Forgot about that. So I normally annotate with just highlighter, but I decided why not use page flags. I would give this, like, I wish we did 10 stars out of instead of 5, because I feel like 5 is just too few. I would give this one a 9.5. I say 9.5 is because this has more spelling errors than his first one. So it's a terrific book there, but like I said, there's more spelling errors in this one, which kind of sucks because I believe this is self-published. I don't know, which is fantastic. And then this one, oh, what the hell is that? Something got on this book. Anyways, I literally just finished this book like 4 or 5 days ago, and it's Spellbound, A New Witch's Guide to Crafting the Future. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I believe she is Korean. Yeah, Korean American. Cha Won Koo. I don't know if you'll be able to see her name, but this is her book. This is part of the reason why I wish we had 10 stars instead of 5, is because for me, this would be for me personally, it would be like a 5 out of 10, but for what it is, it would be like a 7.5, but I'll get to it in my review video. It has its highlightedness and annotated places, but let's just say that there's way more annotation in the first half than there is in the second half. And I kind of felt weird carrying this around because it says a New Witch's Guide to Crafting the Future, because I am not a new witch, but oh well. Okay, now these are the books that I'm reading right now. I've been wanting this book for like 4 years now. And I finally have it. And I am 51 pages in, and I did skip the first chapter because it was magic, what it is, and how does it work. It kind of felt really boring and scholarly, or no, academic. And it's Magic in the Ancient Greek World by Derek Collins. And that's Circe on the cover. Very famous Waterhouse painting, I believe. Yeah, John William Waterhouse. Circe offering the cup to Ulysses, which that is technically the Roman name for Odysseus. So anyways, I skipped the first chapter. But I read the whole introduction because it's only almost 4 pages. And literally the second and third page of this entire book is highlighted a lot, plus some of the fourth. And I'm learning things already. Like, I'm thinking of coming back to chapter 1 because it talks, like, one of the things it talks about is sympathetic magic, which I would like to hear more about. Because, like, I already know what sympathetic magic is. But, like, I learned that Plato, if I remember correctly, weirdly enough, believed that the healers and doctors and physicians who use spells were okay, but the witches and the magic folk were not. Like, they're messing with nature and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the modern Christian view, or maybe even sometimes a Wiccan view. No, erase what I just said about the Wiccan part. No, but I'm learning the different words in Greek and what they mean and stuff. Like, I already knew that Magoi, or Magi, however you pronounce it, which is in my YouTube name, means magician. But I just use it in place of for witch. So in my grimoire, I'm actually going to do a Greek lexicon, to where when I learn a Greek word, I write it down and write down what it means. And interesting, in the second chapter, it says, the second chapter is called A Framework for Greek Magic. And it talks about, it talks about epilepsy and their viewpoint on epilepsy in the ancient Greek world. And it's interesting to find out that different parts of, like, if you were kicking more than usual, it meant like you were, like, it was sent to by a different god. So different forms of epilepsy is coming from a different god. So if he utters a loud and sharp cry, he is likened to a horse, and Poseidon is made responsible for that epileptic seizure. Let's see. If the patient's cries are more frequent and high-pitched, like birds, then Apollonomius, or pastoral, is responsible. So it's different types of cries and kicks and stuff like that, that's believed different deities are responsible. And it talks about Hercules' seizure as well, which I find interesting. It was interesting and yet a little weird how they viewed seizures and epilepsy back then. So it's really interesting so far. I can't wait to get more into it. Like it talks about homework incantations, binding magic, and erotic figurines. Let's see. Yeah. Is that all? Magic in Greek and Roman law. And some other things. So I'm liking it so far. Again, I'm going to do a book review. Sorry that took a little while. And then King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. Rediscovering the Archetypes of the Mature Masculine is the other book I'm reading right now. I'm enjoying it. I am seeing some things brought to light. And I feel like I need to read this more than this book. Because that's just how my intuition is working at the moment. So I'm going to try to read this more than the Magic of Ancient Greek World. I'm trying to hurry up and get through the boy psychology part. Because I want to get to the man psychology. So I know, like, how to change myself and stuff like that to be more mature and stuff like that. So those are the books I'm reading now, and then the books or book that I want to start to read after is I've only read like a few pages of this book, like 14 pages. Energy Work: The Secrets of Healing and Spiritual Growth by Robert Bruce. So if you are new to the craft, which I think you're really not, energy work is like the foundation of witchcraft. So I like to get into that because it'll help my craft in the end. So, and this one I'm not sure because I started to read it. I only literally read about 2 pages in the month of October because it's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I think we all know who wrote this book. But I think it's because of the Old English type of language it looks like to have. But I'm going to give it another shot because I like Frankenstein and the old movies are interesting. I literally watched the old movie from like the 30s or 40s like a week ago before Halloween. And one other book. I have read quite a bit of this, or a few chapters, but I don't know where I left off because I did not bookmark it. But it's going to be Mythology for a Magical Life: Stories, Rituals, and Reflections to Inspire Your Craft by Ember Grant. And I liked this book when I was reading it because it has journal prompts and visualizations, affirmations, magical skills, and then it first talks about the mythological story and then some aspects of it, and then it gets into the work part of it. So it's really interesting. So I would like to incorporate it into my practice and stuff. So there's 12 chapters. I think I got through like maybe chapter 3, which is starts on the 49th page. But I'm going to start off in chapter 2 because the magic of story was kind of boring to me because it kind of repeated itself. It's like one of the very first stories ever told, it said. So I'm going to read this. And I believe that is all. And I hope you have a great day and see you hopefully next week. Bye.